Can you hear me now, dear?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can indeed. Can you see behind me? Very nice.
Let me just turn off my alarm. I put an alarm on to make sure that I wasn't late for our date.
Oh, I know, I know, I know. Well, good afternoon, Christine.
Hello.
I suppose there's a
That
couple of
background is
questions.
looking good.
Yeah. I've room for improvement, obviously. I'll be wearing a shirt and stuff with a proper way of doing it. There was a couple of questions that, funnily enough, today
Hmm.
came through. I was talking to a student, or a potential student, should I say, um, and she's a hairdresser.
Right.
And as you know, we've had many hairdressers have come to the course, and many have wanted to apply, wanted to join the course. What advice would you give to a hairdresser thinking about doing the course?
Do you now, are we talking about sort of advice in the present climate, as in what to do research wise before we start the course? Or are we talking about general, like the hairdressers that we've had previously that have come and done the course, that have
Oh,
gone on to do?
I would say general, as in, as if it's it's a completely normal world, the sane world that we're in, and it's a hairdresser thinking about doing a 4-month course, and should I do the 4-month course? I'm a hairdresser. Would it help? What would it do?
Okay, well, firstly, as we know, we have a huge success rate with hairdressers taking on the course. I don't think there's been one of our hairdressers that we've taken on yet that hasn't gone on to do very good things. And this kind of, I think, leads me on to that thing that I think when you've got your hairdressing background, I mean, obviously the hardest thing, as we know, that we have to teach is working within somebody's personal space. And I think, as a hairdresser, you're automatically geared to kind of do that. So I've got things coming through here. You're automatically geared to kind of sort of be in people's personal space. So you've kind of already got the advantage of being your ability to talk to people about how they look and your communication things. You've got so many things that are really hard to teach people, if you
Yes.
like.
Yeah.
I think hairdressers are incredibly easy to place afterwards. They really are. After the course, they really are easy to place.
Would you say though, what I've noticed, even though, as you know, I don't have the hair or makeup background, but um, the difference between a hairdresser and a hair and makeup artist, is there a difference?
It depends. I think the difference is where you've kind of got the experience of being on set. I mean, the one thing that is kind of hard to teach hairdressers is to get them to step back from making people look like they've just been to a hairdresser. I think one of the most crucial things you have to remember about what we're doing is we're telling a story. We're bringing the page to life. That person might not have been outside the house for a week. They might have been, I'm sure there's going to be many films about, us all being housebound for the next 2 or 3 months or whatever.
Yes.
It's like they'd have like sort of 2 or 3 months worth of hair roots, and that's that kind of thing of
Yes.
what
Yes.
we have to do as a hair and makeup artist as opposed to a hairdresser is we have to bring the story to life. And I think with hairdressers, their primary concern is doing exactly what the client wants them to do. So the client wants to walk out of the salon or their hairdressers or whatever, looking and feeling great with new hair color, new haircut, new blow dry, whatever. And with what we're doing, it's very much about creating a story. The other thing that I think is really important, and I think is really paramount in the present, in our day and age, is that hairdressers, especially our younger hairdressers, I'm not talking about the older hairdressers who would be like my age and such like, but the younger hairdressers now, they're kind of not really taught. They very much, even if they do City and Guilds at college, they very much sort of sketch over the hair setting and the principle of hairdressing. Like hairdressing as the craft is kind of being forgotten. And what we have to do is we have to teach them. Like if we're doing a film that is set in the 50s or the 60s, then, you know, knowing how to do the full Italian, the half Italian, you know, the artichoke hairstyle is really paramount. It's like they need to know how to put rollers in, you know, even if they're doing a film in the 70s where, you know, perms were really high fashion. You know, they like not many people are even taught how to put perm rollers in now. And it's also that, you know, when I was a hairdresser many years back, you know, you kind of did everything. You know, you coloured, you permed, you cut, you blow dried. Now with the hairdressers nowadays, they tend to be colour technicians or cutting technicians. Do you see what I mean? They kind of grouped themselves in a way, so they're not specialising in anything in particular.
Yes, yeah.
Actually, no, correct that. They are specialising in one avenue of what they're doing.
It's funny how that expression, you can take the makeup designer out of film, but you can't take the film out of the makeup designer. It's interesting how you said about already now, you know, films will be happening about this situation now, and, you know, 3 months of roots showing and all these things, you know, that you're thinking straight away of, you know, as in the story, which hadn't even entered my mind. It's really quite funny.
But I think it's because you're kind of geared to look at it that way. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, obviously I've got all of my mates sort of emailing me and sort of like, you know, FaceTiming me and sort of saying, what can they do? You know, a lot of their kids are kind of coming up in, you know, getting spots and things like that, you know, and it's that sort of thing that, you know, a lot of things you kind of start looking at. And you know, the bottom line is there will be a lot of stories about this particular pandemic. There's got to be, you know, apart from anything else, you know, you've got the whole world's writers sort of like locked up in their house at the moment. There's going to be some fantastic material at the end of this, I tell you.